Hey guys, and welcome back for HIIT Yoga. For today's session, you're not going to need any equipment, but maybe just grab a bottle of water so that you've got it to hand between rounds. Other than that, you don't need anything else at all. So whenever you're ready, come and join me at the front of your mat in Tadasana and we'll begin. So we're starting off today. It's the first day of stackable classes. So if you just want to do one or the other, you're more than welcome to leave halfway. I'll give you a good cue when it's the end of a class and going into the next. And then my plan was to have a kind of 5-minute break in between so you can go off, get some water, come back and reset if you need to. And that gives everyone else a chance to join. So we'll see how it goes working as a live class, but I thought many of you do these back to back anyway, so it might make sense. So for today's session, you're just going to need some water if you've got that to hand, if you feel like you need it. And other than that, we'll begin our warm up. So if you come to the front of your mat and find yourself in Tadasana, just set yourself up with your feet hip distance apart, lift the toes, spread them, tuck the tailbone under, think about engaging those legs, rolling those shoulders back and down and lengthening through the crown of the head. We'll just begin by rolling the shoulders back and down, maybe 5 times or so backwards, and then 5 times or so forwards. Once you've done 5 times in both directions, just come back to center. Inhale as you lift your right arm up, reaching up tall, feel that stretch in the side body. Exhale, reach over to the left. Inhale, back to center, switching over the arms. Exhale, reach over to the right. We're just going to do 3 of these each side, moving with your own breath in your own time. Opening up that side body, finding that length, warming the body up. From here, just take the hands back out to either side of you in a nice wide T-shaped position once you come back to center, and then wrap the arms around the body as you twist to look behind. So just let the arms fall. Think about lifting as you come through that twist in the midline. A couple of rotations each side, 1 more each side, and then come back to center. We'll just churn the ankles and the wrists as well. So option to do it toe to the floor or just rotate the ankle like so. We'll do 10 ankle rotations on one side whilst you churn the wrists. So you can either rotate the wrists like so or interlace the fingers, however you want. Just get the blood flowing in those joints and then switch sides. And then slowly we'll come back to center. So coming back to center, inhale, take the hands all the way up above you, extended Tadasana, soften the knees, hinge at the hips, come all the way down into your Uttanasana, forward fold. Just take a moment there in ragdoll, holding opposite elbow and opposite hand, swinging from side to side, getting into that lower back, thinking about drawing that chest across the thighs, easing into those hips, those hamstrings and glutes. And then release the hands to the floor. Heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. Find your squat stance. Exhale as you come all the way down into garland pose. And then just take a moment there, pulsing up and down in the bottom of your squat. Opening up those hips, keeping that chest nice and lifted, so a nice upright torso. Inhale, come all the way up, heel toe the feet all the way back underneath the hips. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come all the way back down into your Uttanasana forward fold. Option to step or hop back to plank. And then we're going to take a vinyasa. So option to drop the knees, exhale, low plank. Inhale, press up to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back to down facing dog. Spend a moment or 2 there, just pulsing through the feet, opening up the calves, the hips, the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, walk the hands all the way to the back of the mat. Find your Uttanasana forward fold 1 more time. Heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. Find your squat stance. Inhale, come all the way up, extended Tadasana, palms together at the top. Exhale, come down into your garland pose. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to do 3 more of those. So inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, come down to garland. Inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, come down to garland pose. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, release the left hand to the floor. Inhale to lift and twist with the right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release and reset. So right hand comes to the floor. Inhale to lift and twist with the left hand up toward the ceiling. Exhale, release. Plant both hands on the floor. Heel toe the feet back underneath the hips. Walk the hands all the way to the front of the mat. Find your plank position. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, press up to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back to down facing dog. Option to step or hop to your Uttanasana, forward fold at the front of the mat. And then inhale as you come all the way up, extended Tadasana. Exhale, release, reset. You should be feeling a little bit more warm. Let me just spotlight myself so you guys can see. Sorry, I should have done that sooner. And let me just turn this music up for you so that you can hear it a little bit better. Cool. And then put that on gallery. I don't know whether it's the right, I don't know what I've put on here. It says royalty free high yoga, so it goes on the other. Hopefully that's all right. Okay, cool. So it's the usual 3 rounds, mobility, strength and cardio. I'm gonna turn my timer on. You have 45 seconds of work, 5 movements, 45 seconds of work. And for each of those, you'll have 25 seconds break, and then you'll have a minute's rest in between each round. So same format as before. Slightly harder class today as we're on the last week of the course of 6, but feel free to just take it at your own pace, reduce the movements, scale them, take the options that you want. This is your workout, so no need to break yourselves. Just go at your own pace. So the first movement of today is a standing squat with a knee tap and thrust through, or hip thrust. So you're going to find yourself in your slightly wider stance, and then you're going to inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, come down into your squat position. Tap one knee to the floor, tap the other knee to the floor, and then thrust through. Come back, stand up, and then come back down. Tap. Tap, sorry, you should alternate the taps so that you thrust through. Sorry, let me restart that one. So standing squat, come all the way down, tap, maybe just go straight through for that thrust, come back to center, tap the other knee, come back for that thrust, and then come all the way up. It's probably easier to do it that way than alternate. So I'm going to set the clock up, and then we will begin. So in 8 seconds time, set yourself up in that wide, slightly wider stance. And when you're ready, inhale, hands come up above the head. Exhale, come down into that squat. Tap the knee, thrust, open the hip, and then come back to center, tap the other knee, open the hip. So option to just tap the knee, or option to just come up and down into that squat. So pick your progression, take your time, do whatever is good for you today. Listen to your body. You are over halfway. And then we are on to the next movement. You have 10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next movement is a simple body flow. So from down facing dog, you're simply going to roll forwards, drop the hips, look up, find cobra, push back to down facing dog. So inhale as you roll forward, see if you can find that body spine roll, and then look up to cobra, squeeze the glutes, point the toes, set yourself up now in down facing dog. And then when you're ready, go. So inhale, roll forwards, drop the hips, look up, find cobra. Option to reduce cobra to sphinx. If you find it is too much on your lower back, you can always come through to those forearms. Pick the progression that works for you. So really focus, if you like, on finding that lovely spinal wave, moving vertebrae by vertebrae. It doesn't have to be a rushed movement. You can slow it right down. Feel your body move. You have 12 seconds left on the clock, so maybe
10 seconds.
1 or 2 more each way. And then when you are ready, you can rest. The next movement is a lizard lunge to pounce. So you're going to come from this down facing dog. As you come through with the right foot, you're going to remove that right hand off the floor and then step back to down facing dog. So you're lifting the hand up where you're placing the foot. So set yourself up in that down facing dog.
Let's go.
And then when you're ready, you're inhaling as you come through, exhaling to step back. If this is too much, you can keep the hands on the floor and just take opposite right foot outside of right hand and then left foot outside of left hand. So you're just alternating from side to side without that pounce. However, if you can manage the coordination at this time in the morning, then feel free to do that full movement. You are over halfway. Just keep moving through. This doesn't have to be rushed. You can spend a second or two in each position. Feel how your body feels within those postures.
Rest.
The next movement is a simple bear to cobra scoop. So you're going to come into this hands under shoulders, knees under hips position. Take the hands slightly wider, lift the knees off the floor, find bear. You're then going to scoop the chest through and come up to cobra. Option to do this kneeling, scoop the chest through and come up to cobra. So pick your progression. If you want to take the knees off the floor, really brace that core, scoop the chest through and then press up into cobra or up dog. You could even lift the knees off the floor all the way through if you wanted to. Really focus on that thoracic spine. Really focus on that scoop. So as you come down from that bear position, keep bracing that core, but also dip the chest all the way through and really find that scoop and bend. You have 10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
So maybe just one or two more. And then we are on to the fifth and final movement.
Rest.
The next movement is bow to bridge. So you have an option here to just simply do half bow, if that's all you want to do today. Second option is to just simply hold a normal bow. Third option is to take that bow back down, roll over, and then come up into bridge, come back down, roll over, come back to bow, and then go the other way. So pick your progression. It's a really good shoulder opener. You're simply finding that nice arch as you kick back and up into the hands, and then coming back down, rolling over the other shoulder if you can. Can't do it the other way. And then lifting up, holding onto those ankles and really thrusting those hips towards the sky. So think about bracing that core. You're over halfway. Maybe you can get one more bow to bridge or just one more bow hold. And then when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, rest. Grab some water. Well done, girls. So the next round is your strengthening round. And this is going to be, again, 5 movements. We're going to alternate all the way through the body, so hopefully one body part won't get abused more than another. And the first movement of this round is an alternating Cossack squat. So you're going to come to quite a wide stance, long ways on your mat, and we're just simply going to drop the body over one leg. Try and keep that foot flat on the floor, or you can try and keep the heel flat and lift the toes and flex them back towards you. Just try and keep your chest nice and upright. Use that leg to push yourself all the way up, and then we're going to drop down to the other side. Try and keep this heel flat, chest upright, so we're getting some hip mobility as well. Come back to center and repeat the other side. So you have 4 seconds. Set yourself up, and when you're ready, come down. So you're just gently coming one side to the other. So if you want to make this harder, you could just make a tempo squat out of this as well. So you can come down 1, 2, 3, hold for 2, 1, and then shoot back up. And then 1, 2, 3, hold for 3, 2, 1, shoot back up. Alternatively, you can just hold one side or the other, or if that's too much on your hips, just do a couple of air squats.
10 seconds.
You have 10 seconds left, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. The next one is an alternating V-sit. So you're going to come from a prone position. You're going to inhale as you lift up, opposite hand to opposite leg, and then lift up again, alternating from side to side. Option to simply do the tuck and twist instead. See if you can hold in that upright position for a couple of seconds before you lower yourself back down. So pick your progression. With this V-sit, really think about pushing that navel towards the floor and then reaching up for that foot. Try and keep shoulders and thighs off the floor, or legs off the floor all the way through. Really engage that core. If you need to, you can always do both feet at the same time. Alternating though, I think, is a bit easier. Really good, girls. Another option, of course, is a dead bug with all 4 limbs towards the floor, taking one back, opposites back and down as you come from one to the other. And in 3, 2, 1, relax. The next one is an arch, hold or rock. So we're going to come down onto our fronts, take the arms and legs straight out and front and behind, and then inhale to lift. Option to just stay here, or option to add a rock to it as well to make it slightly harder. If it's too much to hold, you can just come back down and then inhale to lift and reset. So just hold it for as long as you can. Maybe aim for 3 sets of 10 seconds if this is something you really struggle with. Exhale to lower, and then inhale to lift. If you want to add that rock, really think about keeping those fingers and toes, tension through to the fingers and toes, using that core to rock you. You're over halfway, so 45 seconds feels like quite a long time when you're rocking solidly for that long. You're doing so well. You have just 10 seconds left on the clock. And then we have our next movement.
Rest.
So we've done the core, we've done the legs, we're going to do the arms. So we're going to come into a dolphin press. So interlace the fingers, clasp your hands together, forearms on the floor, elbows are shoulder width apart. Tuck the toes, press up and back into dolphin pose. From here, you're going to reach forwards, tap nose to thumbs and press back. Option 2, reach forwards, tap nose to floor and press back. Option 3, walk the feet further in and try both of those options again. The further out your feet are, the easier this pose becomes, or this transition becomes, movement, whatever you want to call it. Just take your time, really focus on pressing into the ground with those elbows and engaging those lateral muscles, those muscles underneath your armpits. You are over halfway. This is your second to last movement, so try and put a little bit of effort into it. Really feel the lift. You can take a moment or 2 in that dolphin position before you go into the next press. Nice work. And in 3, 2, 1. The final movement of this round is a hollow hold. So we're going to come down onto our backs. Option 1 to just find this tuck position. So you're bringing your chest and shoulders off the floor. Option 2 is to extend one leg. Option 3, extend both legs. And option 4, extend the arms above the head. So find your progression. Make sure that lower back remains glued to the floor throughout. If you're alternating legs, we're going to switch halfway. So I will count you in a moment. So keep with that single leg hold if you're doing that single leg. You're doing really well. Really think about pushing that belly button down to the ground, engaging that core. And in 3, 2, 1, switch sides if you're on that single leg.
Halfway there.
And then hold again. You don't have long left, you just have 15 seconds left on the clock, so keep going all the way to the end. You're nearly there.
10 seconds.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. done. Relax. Grab yourself some water. And we'll prepare for the cardio round. Those hollow holds are pretty nasty. So you'll be glad to know that next week we'll go back down to some more basic movements, but it's fun to pick the progressions, or you try the progressions if you like. Cool, so we have 30 seconds of rest, so I'm going to show you the first one. The first movement is a bear, chair and jump. So you're going to come from your bear pose, you're going to jump the feet through to your hands, inhale to lift to chair, and then come back, reset in bear. So bear pose, you have your knees off the floor. So come into that kneeling position, find your knees off the floor, jump, catch, and then jump back. So obviously the more of these you do, the more cardio you're going to get out of this. If you want some strength, see if you can hold deep in that chair and deep in that bear for a few seconds.
Let's go.
So setting yourself up, find that bear position, knees are hovered off the floor. Jump through, catch in chair, and then jump back, catch in bear. So it's jumping from one to the other. Really think about sitting back and down into those heels in that chair pose, keeping that tailbone from tucking under or slipping out. So keep that tailbone tucked under. Engage that core. The core should be engaged throughout this movement the entire time. So keep moving your way through. You have just coming up to 10 seconds left on the clock. And then we are on to the next movement. And in 5, 4, from here, we're going to push up and back into our down facing dog position, and we're going to go for that alternating firefly. So opposite, so knee comes high and outside, taps the outside elbow, steps back, and then alternating from side to side. Option, if this is too hard, just come into a regular mountain climber, bringing that knee through in that tiger curl position. Set yourself up, find your down facing dog, and then take that knee high and outside. Obviously, the more reps you do, the more cardio you're going to get. For a strength workout as well, see how high you can bring that knee up and outside. So the lower you drag it along the outside, the easier it is. The higher, aiming for biceps, the harder it becomes. You become more of a strength workout as well as cardio. So you have just 10 seconds left on the clock. See if you can get another 2 or 3 taps in each side. And then when you're ready, rest. The next one is an alternating lunge. So we're just going to step back, tap the knee, and alternate from side to side. If this is too easy, then feel free to add those jumping lunges in for a bit more cardio and a bit more strength. Also think about your stance. So the wider your stance for this, the steadier you're going to be. So set yourself up. Option to step forwards or back. I just naturally go for the back one, tapping the knee to the floor. Arms can go up, arms can go on the side, wherever you need them to go. Your choice. So you're coming up to halfway, thereabouts. So see if you can take note of the number of lunges you've done now, and then repeat that again.
Halfway there.
Or maybe get a few extra in before the end. Really push yourself. You have just coming up to 10 seconds left on the clock.
10 seconds.
And in 3, 2, 1, relax.
Rest.
From here, we're going to come down to the floor and come into some tuck crunches. So option 1, simple tuck crunches. Option 2, you can do that alternating from side to side. Or if you want to get into the laterals, you can keep the feet off the floor or tap the sides, either side for some Russian twists. Just move as fast as you can through this one. Pick the progression that works for you, and you should get quite a good workout. If you want to progress it even further, you could even come back to that alternating V-up. So pick whatever works for you. Nice work. Really good.
Halfway
You're
there.
over halfway, so see if you can match the same number of reps that you've just done, if you can keep in count. And then we have one final movement
10
to
seconds.
finish off the class. Nice work.
Rest.
Brilliant. The last movement of this round is simply finding yourself at the front of the mat. You're going to inhale to come all the way down, step back or jump back to down facing dog. Press through to down facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa or option to take a chaturanga all the way through. Push back to down facing dog. Jump forwards, jump up, catch and chair, reset and repeat. So set yourself up, really good work. Pick your progression. A vinyasa might be easier to get more reps in. Really push yourself for this last one. It's the last 45 seconds of the class. And then we will be going into our final mini cool down before slow flow. Nice work. You have just coming up to 15 seconds left on the clock. See if you can get 2 more in for me. Work all the way to the end.
10 seconds.
You can do really, really well. You get a nice 5-minute rest after this. Or you can carry on with the rest of your day. Really good, girls. Nice work. Brilliant. And rest. So take some water on. Shake it all off. And then